Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the proteins. This is the new topic which is there in syllabus that as it is also one of the constituents which will be there in the both plant and animal, right? And it is very essential requirement for the plant as well as for the animals or human beings, right? So when it comes to the protein, there are a lot of source where we are getting the protein. So you can see into the picture here, right? Here in the fruits also, it will be there in the meats, fish, milk, broccoli, and different types of nuts. Here you can see, right, in the different types of red meat it is available on fishes, orange, the badam or almond, eggs, the pink color broccoli. So these are the different source from the plant and from the animal, where we are getting the long chain of amino acids called the proteins. So when we try to define the proteins, how we are going to define the definition of protein, it is going to be a protein is a complex, high molecular weight organic compound that consists of amino acids joined by peptide bonds, right? So here the lot of amino acids there, that's what it is, high molecular weight, right? High molecular weight organic compounds, which is joined, the smallest unit is the amino acids, and they are joining together by the peptide bonds, and they are making the complex structure that is known as protein. So that, like that, we can define, right? Coming to the word meaning of protein, if you talk about the word meaning, what is the exactly word meaning? The word protein is derived from Greek protos, 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 meaning of primary importance, right? The protos means primary importance. So the proteins are essential to the structure and function of all living cells, because even in the COVID-19 also you can see there is a protein, there is a lipid, right? So like that, it is a structural unit, it is the structural unit, it is the essential part of the cell. That's what. Many proteins are enzymes, and or subunit of enzymes. They may be the enzymes, and they may act as enzymes, or they may be the part of enzyme or subunit of the enzyme. Other proteins play structural or mechanical roles. For example, such as those that form the struts and joints to the cytoskeleton, they're serving as a biological scaffolds for the mechanical integrity and also tissue signaling function. So they are having a lot of role into the biological system or into the body, and the main are the structural, as I told you, structural unit, and even the mechanical role also. If you talk about the sources of protein, from where we got, then starting only I told you that these are obtained from either plant or animals. So they are obtained from the both plant and animal sources. In plants, they are stored in the form of oleoron grains. In animals, they are present in structural material in the form of collagen, that is nothing but connective tissue. Then keratin, those are nothing but hair, wool, and the wool hairs, then feathers, and the horns. So these are the different parts of the body. Then elastin type of protein, that is known as epithelial connective tissue. Then casein will be there in the milk, and the plasma protein. So these are the different proteins where they will be situated in animal. Here you can see into the picture how nicely it is the showing that this is the protein, these are the animals, and these are the plants. From both the sources we can get the protein. So casein, gelatin, then heparin, and the hemoglobin are the pharmaceutically important protein from animal origin. They are having the important role into the different formulations and the different pharmaceutical aid. Coming to the configuration of protein, if you see the structure or the how the arrangement it is there of the protein in their structure, since it is the complex, So the protein are generally large molecules, as I told you, complex, right? Having the molecular masses of up to uh, 3 lakh, right? 30 lakhs, right? So here 30 lakhs. The muscle protein titin has a single amino acid chain that is having 27,000 subunit long, right? So you can see into the this amino acid chain in the protein, how it will be joining together. This is the R1 from here, right? Then here R2 till here, then it is going to be the R3, so on, right? So that like that, the different units, so up to 30 lakhs it is going to be the molecular weight, right? Maximum, right? So here one example they have given titin. The muscle protein titin has a single amino acid chain that is having the 27,000 subunits, right? However, protein masses are generally measured in kilodaltons, that is the unit, right? Kilodalton, how much kilodalton protein it is there, like that. Such long chain of amino acids are almost universally referred to as a proteins, but shorter strings of amino acids are referred to as polypeptides, peptides, or rarely oligopeptides. Right. So these three things where they are referring polypeptides, peptides, or oligopeptides. Right. So like that, it is going to have the dividing line in undefined. That is the undefined till now. Uh, though polypeptide usually refers to as a amino acid chain lacking tertiary structure, which may be more likely to act as a hormone like insulin rather than as a enzyme, which depend on the its defined tertiary structure for functionality. Here you can see that polypeptide chain, how it is going to be long amino acids. These are the amino acids, so whatever in different color, blue, green, purple, right? So these are the amino acids, and they are making like that. Okay, so this is the configuration like that. The protein it is going to have along with the different amino acids which is joining together by the different peptide bonds. Essential amino acids, what are the amino acids it is there in the proteins? There are about 20 different amino acids, 8 of which must be present in diet. That is essential, and it has to be there into the diet, then only we can survive, right? The 8 essential amino acids required by human, that are the leucine, isoleucine, valine, then threonine, methionine, phenylalanine, tryptophan, and the lysine. Right, these are the 8 amino acids which is the very essential and required for the human being for their normal growth and survival. For children, the histidine, all of you have might have heard. Histidine is also considered to be an essential amino acid. Apart from this, right? So for children, because they will be in the growing stage, they are growing their bones, their muscles, their body, entire body growth. It is happening there, so that's what the histidine is again it has been included, that it is going to be the important proteins for them. Unlike the animal proteins, plant proteins may not contain all the essential amino acids in the necessary proportion, whatever it is required proportion for the normal growth or for the diet. It may not, right? It may not contain, and so the proteins derived from plants are grouped as a incomplete. That's what, because it is not containing this, that's these 8 essential amino acids supposed to be there, right? So that's what, if they are not there, they are considered as a incomplete protein. And from animal are grouped as a complete, because it is having these 8 amino acids which is required for the normal growth, right? So that's what I mean. The animal proteins, the protein which we are getting from animal source, that is grouped as a complete. However, a varied vegetarian diet means a mixture of proteins are consumed. The amino acids in one protein, the compensating for the deficiency of another, right? So that's what we need to take care about, whether these all the leucine, isoleucine, valine, threonine, methionine, phenylalanine, tryptophan, and lysine. These eight are there or not. If it is not there, they will be, they have to compensate by that particular amino acid from different source. That's what. So structural details, if you try to see, discuss about the protein, since we have discussed the configuration, here the structure of protein could be differentiated into four types: the primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure, and a quaternary structure. Coming to the primary structure, the amino acid sequence, what we have seen, that one amino acid, so second amino acid, how they are joining with the peptide bond, their sequence. Secondary structure means highly patterned substructures, right? The pattern is going to be complex further. Alpha helix and a beta sheet or segments of the chain that assume no stable shape, right? It may change. No stability means it is going to be changed. It depend on, right? So secondary structures are locally defined, meaning that there can be many different secondary motifs present in one single protein molecule. That's what it becomes secondary structure. When we talk about the tertiary structure, the overall shape of the single protein, right, entire shape, the anatomy of the configuration of the single protein molecule, it is going to be the septial relationship on the secondary structural motifs to one another, right? Here motifs, whatever it is there into the single protein, no, so there will be the relation, the septial relationship of the secondary structural motifs to one another, so it will become tertiary structure. When we talk about the quaternary structure, the shape or structure that results from the union of more than one protein molecule, usually called a protein subunit in this context, which functions as a part of larger assembly or protein complex, right? So that's what it is, the highest complex, that's what it is known as quaternary structure. So each and every structure which we have differentiating here depend on their sequence or arrangement. Okay, so when we talk about the nature, how the protein it is, how like, so the first thing come, that is the protein are sensitive to their environment, where it is, right? What is the temperature, what is the pH, what is the humidity, and all those. So they may only be active in their native state, right? That's what in enzyme, in the case of enzyme also we have seen, right? In they the activity, what the function or what the role they're supposed to play, they will be active in their native place, means what is the temperature, where it is supposed to be, livers, connective tissue, bones, hairs, where. So there only they are going to be active. And if it is over the small pH range and under solution conditions, if it is in vitro or if it is extracted from the proper source, and if it is given as a substitute, it has to be under the solution conditions with a minimum quantity of electrolytes, right? So minimum electrolytes supposed to be there so that they can be active, right? The protein in its native state, native state means where, from where it is, suppose if it is plant source, so plant, in plant nuts are there, so in the nuts, in the live state, with the viable cells, how they are going to be is described as a folded, and that is not in its native state, is said to be denatured. D means not there in the nature, or in the native place, or in their where they're supposed to be in natural condition. Now they are not there, so we need to provide, if you want to use, and it should act as a protein and metabolism and all those things, it has to come along with the their required surroundings. Denatured proteins means generally have no well defined secondary structure. That's what we have seen in the secondary structure here: alpha helix and beta sheet. That's a highly patterned substructure, so that will not be there. So denatured protein are generally have no well defined secondary structure. Many proteins denatured and will not remain in the solution in distilled water. Also they are denatured due to heat, changes in pH, treatment of organic solvents, or by ultraviolet radiation. So these are the different factor which will make the protein denatured or out of their activity, and they are inactive in that case, right? So they are out of their native state. So that will, because of this factor only, they are going to uh, lose their activity, or they're unable to perform their property what they are supposed to. When we talk about the role in the human body or into the biological system of the protein, so we have seen that sort a protein is the very essential requirement for our diet and for the normal growth. So protein are the essential for growth and also repair of what cells, the smallest unit, cells that has to be repaired by the protein. And in, as told you that the in each and every cells there supposed to be the protein. Even if you see the even small virus also, they will be having the proteins and lipids. So these are the part of the cells that has to be there. They play the crucial role in virtually all biological processes in the body. That's what in every cells there we, so they are playing the crucial role. And that's what the because of the deficiency of proteins, so the lot of disorder may occur, right? So all enzymes are proteins, yes, and are vital for the body's metabolism. They are very essential for body's metabolism, muscle contraction, immune protection, and the transmission of nerve impulses are all the dependent on the proteins only. Proteins in skin and bones provide structural support. Many hormones are the proteins, right? This already you might have completed in your anatomy physiology, right? So proteins can also provide a source of energy. Generally, the body uses carbohydrate and fat for the energy, but when there is excess dietary protein or inadequate dietary fat and carbohydrates, protein is used, right? Excess protein may also be converted to the fat and it can be stored. And the important proteins are given the here under, right? So you can see here. So coming to the how we can conclude this one, proteins is a macronutrient that is essential to building muscle mass, right? And it is the essential requirement for the cells and for the metabolism, right? So it is having a lot of industrial applications also. Since it is obtaining from the plants and animal sources, it has to be screened properly, right? The screening and the purification has to be there properly, because it is going to be for as a substitute for the protein deficiency peoples and for the different pharmaceutical necessity. Protein is a complex in nature and difficult to analyze because of its complexity. We have seen that 3 lakh that molecular weight, it is up to that, right? And even in smallest one was the 27,000. So since it becoming the complexity will increase, it is difficult. The proper method of analysis should be keep on developing for specific analysis of protein, so that the quality and the purity can be ensured, right? So that's what. So this protein, there are a lot of source we have seen into the, there is this plant source protein, animal source protein, and different complexity we could discuss here today, right? Since it is the long change of amino acids which is joining together by the different types of peptide bond. So we need to once isolated, and moreover because of the different what do you call factor affecting, they are losing their activity. And whenever they are there in their native state, they are showing their activity, but whenever it will be isolated or extracted, they may lose because of the pH, temperature, and so many other things. So that's what we need to provide the artificial in vitro surrounding what they require, the different types of electrolytes, proper temperature, proper pH, and that has to be given to the needy or the as a supplements, or for whatever the pharmaceutical like gelatin, sodium malt, all those things we are using in the pharmaceutical formulation, that has to be done properly, right? So here the analysis, authentication, purification, these are very important since it is obtained from natural sources, right? So